Build your dreams, live rich, and leave rich.
Most of us are taught how to work for money. It's drilled into us from a young age. But here's the thing, very few of us are ever taught how to make our money work for us. So today we're going to change that. We are going on a mission, you and I, to turn your income into an army that builds your wealth even while you sleep.
Just think about this question for a second. It really reveals the financial trap that so many of us can fall into. We're told to work hard, right? For 40 years, you trade your time for money. But have you ever really stopped to ask yourself, what does my money do after I've punched out for the day? Is it working a night shift to make me wealthy? Or is it just sleeping? Well, today we are going to find the answer.
Now, before we really dive in, just a quick disclaimer. Everything we talk about here is for your education. It's to help you think. And our philosophy on this channel is simple. To live rich isn't about owning fancy cars or huge mansions. It's really about achieving a state of financial peace, a place where your life's decisions are driven by freedom, not by fear.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to expose the traps so many people fall into. Then, we'll start building our own army. After that, we'll learn the essential rules of engagement, unleash the single most powerful force in all of finance. And finally, we'll figure out exactly where to deploy our forces for victory. Let's begin.
So what exactly is this trap? Well, you can think of it as the unexamined path. It's the default setting for our financial lives. It's this deep-seated belief that the only way to build wealth is to just work harder and longer, running on a treadmill for 40 years, and somehow never really getting ahead.
See, your 9-to-5 salary, that's what we call active income. It's crucial, yes, but it stops the moment you stop working. True financial freedom isn't built between 9 and 5. It's built from 5 to 9 with something called passive income. That's money that works for you while you're sleeping or traveling or just living your life. That's the half of the story we're going to focus on. To really get this, let's use a powerful analogy. I want you to start thinking of your money not as paper or numbers on a screen, but as soldiers. That's right. Every single rupee you have is a tiny soldier in your own personal army. Now, the big question is, what are your soldiers doing right now?
You see, when your money just sits there, idle in a savings account, or worse, as cash under a mattress, your soldiers are what I call sleeping prisoners. They're not working for you, they're not fighting for you, and honestly, they're incredibly vulnerable. But when you invest your money, everything changes. You become the general of a 24/7 mercenary force. These soldiers, they work around the clock. They never take sick leave, and they have only one mission.
Now those sleeping soldiers, they face a silent killer. It's called inflation. Think of it as a slow poison that just eats away at their strength. If inflation is at 7%, your 100 rupees today will only have the buying power of 93 rupees next year. Your army is literally shrinking without a single battle being fought. And that's exactly why safe options like savings accounts are often a trap. The interest they give you is usually lower than inflation, which means you are guaranteed to be losing money over time.
So, as the general, your mission is crystal clear. You have to deploy your soldiers. You send them out into the battlefield of investment to capture profits, dividends, and interest. But here's the most brilliant part of the whole strategy. Every enemy soldier they capture, every rupee of profit, is immediately recruited into your own army. They switch sides and start fighting for you, building your wealth automatically 24/7.
To build this army properly, every successful general follows one golden rule, and it's this: buy more soldiers and stop buying enemies. You absolutely have to learn the crucial difference between things that build your army and things that actively fight against it. This, my friends, is the difference between an asset and a liability.
This really shows the two sides perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you see your assets. These are your loyal soldiers, things like stocks, mutual funds, real estate, all working to build your wealth. And on the right, you see the enemy, liabilities, a car on EMI, the latest expensive phone, high-interest loans. These things don't just sit there. No, they actively chain up your money and drain your army's strength month after month after month.
The definition of an asset is just beautifully simple. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, period. Think about owning shares in a great company. The dividends they pay you, the growth in their value, those are new soldiers being added to your army every single day. That is a true asset at work.
And a liability? Well, it does the exact opposite. It takes money out of your pocket. But listen, it's so much more than just a financial drain. It's an emotional one. A luxury car you bought on an EMI doesn't just cost you that monthly payment, it costs you your peace of mind.
Every single payment for fuel, for insurance, for interest, that is your army being depleted. That is a liability, and it brings you stress, not peace.
Okay, so now that we know what to buy, more soldiers, more assets, let's talk about the magic engine that grows our army exponentially. This is the one concept that turns small, consistent efforts into almost unimaginable wealth over time. It's called compounding.
Now, this might sound completely impossible, right? A pretty modest sum, 5,000 rupees. It's an amount that many people can afford to invest each month through something called a systematic investment plan, or SIP. So how on earth can that small stream of soldiers turn into a massive army of over 3 crore rupees?
There it is. That's the answer. Over 3 crore rupees. How? By investing just $5,000 a month. If that investment grows at an average of, let's say, 14 to 16% for 25 years, this is the result. This is not a lottery ticket. It's not magic. It's the simple, predictable, and incredibly powerful math of compounding at work.
You know, this famous quote, it just sums it all up perfectly. When you invest, compounding works for you. Your army grows all by itself. But when you take on high-interest debt, like from a credit card, compounding works against you. You're paying interest on your interest, and that means the enemy's army is the one getting stronger.
So how does this incredible snowball get built? Well, it's a simple but powerful cycle. Let's walk through it. Step 1, your soldiers go out and earn profits. Step 2, those profits aren't spent. No, they're immediately turned into new soldiers. They're reinvested. Step 3, now this larger army, it goes out and earns even more profits. And step 4, the cycle just repeats over and over again. The new soldiers recruit more soldiers who then recruit even more. Your army's growth just becomes exponential, expanding on its own with incredible speed.
Okay, General, you are the general. You've got your army, you understand the incredible power of compounding. So the final, big question is, where do you deploy your forces? A wise general never, ever sends all their troops to a single location. You need a diversified strategy, one that's spread across different battlefields.
And here are the 3 main battlefields you need to know. First, you have the front lines. This is equity, or the stock market, the Wall Street. This is where you send your most aggressive troops to get high growth and beat inflation, but it does come with higher risk. Second, you have the fortress. This is your defense, using safer options like bonds and fixed deposits. They won't grow as fast, but their job is to guard your core wealth from losses. And finally, the toll booth. This is real estate, often through things called REITs, which are like owning a tiny piece of many big properties. They generate a steady stream of rental income, a reliable supply line to fund your entire operation.
All right, let's do a really quick, rapid-fire recap of the crucial terms we've learned today. Passive income, that's the money you earn while you sleep. An asset, simple, it puts money in your pocket. A liability, it takes money out of your pocket. And compound interest, the magic of your earnings generating their own earnings. You master these 4 concepts, and you master the game.
You know, understanding all these concepts is the critical first step. But a general can't win a war without a plan. That's why it's so important to document your strategy, your goals, and your financial decisions. A tool like the Legacy Diary can serve as your own personal strategy guide, helping you map out your family's entire financial future and making sure your legacy is one of peace and security.
If this has brought you some clarity today, I hope you'll subscribe for more content to guide you on your financial journey. Always remember the goal: live rich now by living peacefully, and leave rich later by securing your family's future. Thank you for joining me.